This is a introduction to a intensive course which I'm going to be starting as of right now, which is a course on Jacques Derrida, and this is a intensive course. It's going to be one of 3 intensive courses that I'm starting right now, as of yesterday and today, and I started the introductory epistemology 1 and the introduction to philosophy 1, and I'll also be starting the Jacques Derrida 1 as of right now. This is almost like a seminar. It's going to be in the form of a seminar, and in that we're going to be going very deep into the philosophy of Jacques Derrida. And if you don't know, Jacques Derrida is the first deconstructionist. He founded the post-structuralist movement of deconstruction, and that is the main idea of his philosophy, is that of deconstruction, and that's what we'll be talking about in this whole thing. I guess Jacques Derrida is somebody who looks at language and philosophy and science and all the different philosophers within the history of philosophy, and tries to deconstruct those things, basically. And that's a lot of what he does. It's mostly what he does. And we'll kind of come to understand his whole system of deconstruction when we read the essay called Différence, which is the first thing that we'll be doing actually in this course. I'm calling these things intensive courses because they are in the form of a course, in this case in the form of a seminar, in that we'll be talking about things in a structured format, and talking about things in a way that is more systematic than some of my other videos are, and they're more getting more in depth into a certain thing. The introductory epistemology and the intro to philosophy courses, which I've started, are not as intensive as this one is going to be. This one is going to be a lot more intensive, a lot more difficult, so you have to have a background of philosophy for one, and you have to have some prior understanding of I guess the history of philosophy before you jump into Derrida, I would say. The whole thing, the way any intensive course I'm going to start is going to go, is that we have a lecture segment. That's the first thing that we're going to have, which is going to be, I'm going to be, I guess, teaching or talking about a certain book or a certain article or whatever, and there will be notes, which I have written almost in like a outline form. The notes will not be the same as what I'm saying on this video. I'm not just going to make notes and then read them, because that's not of any use. I'm going to explain things and have some notes or a outline for each segment of the course, which that is going to be there on a Tumblr site, which I have not even made yet, but as this is published, I will put a link to the notes in the description box below, and that's where you can go and get the notes and read the outline. You can kind of get the gist of what we're talking about. And the text, reading the text is definitely a very important thing too. And so there's 3 elements: the lecture segment, which I'm going to be giving, and I almost want to call it a lecture because I don't have a doctorate. I'm not a professor, but I do have some confidence in my knowledge of philosophy and of all the different kinds of philosophy, and I have a extremely great confidence in my understanding of Derrida himself. So, or of his works, I should say. So that's how each thing will go. Each video there will be a link in the description box showing you the corresponding notes. Well, actually, it'll be just a link to the Tumblr site, which will have the notes for each lecture segment. So this course is going to be going over his system of deconstruction when we're talking about literature and writing and talking about the system of deconstruction when it is put with linguistics, philosophy, science, and the philosophers of within the last, all the time since Plato, and of Plato himself. So we're going to be doing all those things. So I'm going to discuss now the books that we're going to be going over. We're going to start with which is an essay, which is in this book, Speech and Phenomena. That one is the essay we're going to be reading is Différence. This essay is, in my opinion, the best intro to his philosophy as a whole, and as is the other essays in this book. So we're going to do that first, and I have the notes written down. I just have to type them up and put them up and all that stuff. So we're going to start with that essay, and then we will talk about this book, Speech and Phenomena. I'm going to pick at least a couple of things here. We're going to definitely be doing sign and signs, meaning as soliloquy, meaning and representation, signs and the blink of an eye, and possibly the supplement of the origin. So we'll choose a few essays out of this, and that's kind of because this is a book which is one of the first things he published, which is kind of going against Husserl's phenomenology, where we're talking about Husserl's theory of signs or Husserl's phenomenology of time, consciousness, or he's kind of goes at a few different things of Edmund Husserl's philosophy. So we'll start with these two things, and then I'll probably go on to of grammatology. I have all the books in the other room. I'm not going to get them right now, but we're going to start. Then we'll go to of grammatology, which is like a toolbox for deconstructing literature, and then we'll probably go on to writing indifference, margins of philosophy, limited incorporated. Let's see here. Letter to a Japanese friend is a little smaller writing, which I'm going to definitely be going over, and maybe some of the things that are like shorter writings. I'm not sure what yet. Definitely the Gift of Death. Definitely acts of literature. Definitely dissemination, of course. Politics of Friendship, Spectres of Marx, Gift of Death. Archive Fever. Now, I have a long list somewhere, but I have a lot of things that I want to do. Maybe it's in here. Could be in this one. Maybe not. Sorry about this. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. The speech and phenomena of grammatology, writing indifference, margins of philosophy, dissemination, ear of the other, letter to a Japanese friend, gift of death, limited incorporated, acts of literature, of spirit, which is about Heidegger, Politics of Friendship, Spectres of Marx, Archive Fever, and then Acts of Religion. And then after that, I have a plan to talk about the whole deconstruction versus hermeneutics things of that whole debate versus Hans Georg Gadamer, and also talk about deconstruction and literary theory via Paul de Man, and talk about I have that book around here somewhere. I'm not sure about that stuff yet, but I have a ton, all those main books, the most popular ones. What we'll be doing, and possibly more than that. I'm not sure yet. So if you want to continue in this lecture series, then all you have to do is hit subscribe, and then you will get that each time I do a segment, then you will get the video in your subscription box. So thank you, and this should be a awesome course.